It's interesting you say that, Flame, because I have two versions of Code Veronica. Oh, there we go, it's original. I have Code Veronica and Code Veronica X, like English patch Code Veronica X. They are both presented as Code Veronica, so when I pick one, I have no idea which one it is. So if we check the other one, let's switch to widescreen for a second. It's like, here's Code Veronica, here is other Code Veronica, I don't know which one's which. Let me change this. There you go, this is X. Biohazard, Code Veronica, Ixu. Probably is what that says. So back to, let me move this. There we go. And let me real quick change the controls on this. Ixu. There we go. So, all the Dreamcast Resident Evil games, for some reason, and we've got Xbox controller here, I'll use it to demonstrate, for some reason have cancel, confirm. Cancel, confirm. The opposite of how it is in PlayStation. RE2 lets you fully customize the controls. Green Code Veronica don't. And I think it's an awkward control scheme, and I don't know why it's reversed from PlayStation. So what I just did was swap these two buttons out, but only for this game specifically.
Resident Evil.
Alright, please go and grab a drink.
The American Midwestern town, Raccoon City, has been completely decimated due to the T-virus outbreak that was instigated by the international corporation Umbrella. Claire Redfield, who arrived in
Resident Evil, Code Veronica Eat Soup.
Brother Chris and a rookie police officer, Leon S. Kennedy, managed to escape from the city. But their ordeal was only a prelude of things to come. Three months later.
3 months later and 1 month after the events of Survivor. So I'm gonna have opinions about this game, which some of you have heard before.
Your identification number is WKD4496.
This is one of my least favourite Resident Evil games, with good reason.
Her name is Claire
But
Redfield.
I absolutely acknowledge the positives of it. One of which being it looks fantastic.
She apparently infiltrated
I love the way this game
looking
looks.
for her lost brother, Chris Redfield, one of the surviving members of RPD's famous STARS teams.
It's also absolutely my favourite Claire design. Remember when they just outright copied the scene in Resident Evil Apocalypse? Really giving Liv Tyler. In all fairness, though, this is where Resident Evil started to get maybe a little too ridiculous. For example, that whole gun drop catch thing and the outrunning the helicopter with the chain gun, cool, kinda ridiculous. We're starting to move a little into RE4 territory with that. Yeah, it's one of those things. I've definitely got a similar vibe with Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. As a kid, I thought it was awesome. Like, all the crazy stuff they do in that game. The fight Snake and the Ninja have after the Ocelot fight. Snake jumping onto the missile and then backflipping off it to shoot another missile at the Hind D. Like, I thought it was all really cool. But, like, now it's absolutely just ridiculous. Jumping away from the explosion with multiple shots in RE2. You're gonna have to elaborate on that, Marky, because I can't think what you're talking about. This is my favourite thing about emulation, though. Just how clean this looks. Playing on original system, on original hardware, cannot beat it. But emulation, just how clean the models look, love it.
Perfect. Go on. Get out of here. This place is finished.
So we can actually set this up with widescreen, though there are problems with it.
Team. But in any case, this prison's been taken over. Troops have been wiped out.
What are you saying?
You're free to leave the complex. But you may as well know you have no chance of getting off this island.
And what about you? What are you going to do?
Don't worry about
The
me.
lighting on this scene from the lighter is absolutely phenomenal. Oh yeah, no, I think that's more reasonable. Yes, this is Redream Teak. Let me get up to... In fact, you know, I could show it off here, actually. Let me switch it to a 16:9 screen. Change the video. Okay, so that's stretched. That's undeniably stretched. I know you can do this without stretching it. I know you can do it because I've done it before, and I posted a picture of it on Discord with one of the doors not rendered because it's being culled because it's not supposed to be visible. I don't know. I have to take another look at it. You mean Dreamcast or the emulation, Marky? Get these bullets. I just put RE2 into it, Teak. I wouldn't have assumed that being able to play RE2 would be a paid feature. All the settings. Emulation that just works out of the box is absolutely fantastic. You cannot overstate the convenience of such. But if you're able to spend the time learning a lot of the stuff, like, it's really cool. But Redream's a fairly simple emulator to begin with. You get the options of resolutions and screen size, specific polygon accuracy. But like, for the most part, it's one of the simplest emulators to configure that I've ever seen. Windows CE not currently supported. Weird. Ah, goddammit. Yeah, I don't know, it just, like... RE2 and RE3 just worked for me. They were the first things I tested on it. And they were, like, those two working, along with, like, Sonic Adventure running really nicely and looking nice, were the main things that convinced me to pay for it.
Wait, don't shoot!
Who are you?
Pretty smooth otherwise.
Huh? You're not a zombie. Well, great. Wait right there. I'm coming over. Sorry about that little misunderstanding, but I thought you were another one of those monsters.
Shut up. Make one wrong move and I'll
press the
shoot.
button.
Relax, beautiful. I said I was sorry. My name's Steve. I was a prisoner on this island. And I'm guessing you're not from Umbrella either.
No, I'm Claire. Claire Redfield.
Shoot him!
Claire.
Shoot him now.
Nice. I'll remember that. Hey, I heard there's an airport around here. And once I find it, I can finally escape from this crazy island. Well, I'll see ya.
Crazy island.
I don't want you following me, lady.
So I think one of the main problems Code Veronica has is demonstrated right in the beginning with this part. Of how linearly, of how the entire complex is designed to be kind of... No, it's not working. I'll have to look into that so I can show you guys again. You always slow me down. The entire complex is designed in separate areas, which makes it such a pain to travel through. And like here with this, we go back, we go forward, and then we go back, and then we go forward, and then we go back. And that's how we deal with opening one door. And it feels like time wasting. fact that zombies can use stairs now is very distressing. What am I on? 4 rounds. All rounds. That zombie wasn't outside while I was outside. That went actually really smoothly. Pretty happy with that. There's also a weird thing of Code Veronica not having decapitations. And I'm not entirely certain why. My only thought is a censorship thing. It's most noticeable when you get the shotgun and you do the usual thing of like point upwards and shoot at a zombie's head, and it'll make the noise and the zombies will be dead. But the heads won't have exploded. And it's weird. I say, I think it might be a censorship issue. I know the Japanese version of Resident Evil 4 doesn't have decapitation. And, like, censorship laws in Japan changed. And led to games being more censored in Japan than outside of Japan. Well, there's a good example there. It does the whole thing of, like, the head should have come off, but it's just there. Which is so weird. Sarah sucks, I can believe that. Like, I've seen the Japanese versions of RE7. Because there's 2 versions of it, the standard and the Z version, the Z version. And the Z version is supposed to be like, oh, the more graphic version. Even that's still censored compared to the West. And the most noticeable point I've seen with that is... the policeman. The cop who, like, Jack sneaks up behind him and shoves the shovel through his face. But in the Japanese version, it doesn't go all the way through his head. And that also changes the light a bit, where you get the key. When Lucas hides the key in the guy's neck stump and you have to put your hand in and get it out.
You mean my brother?
In the Japanese version, his head isn't cut off like that. So the key's just taped to the body.
Well, it seems your brother is under surveillance by Umbrella.
What?
Good.
I've got to contact Leon and tell him to let my brother know he's being monitored.
Doesn't even get his hand bitten in the 17 plus version.
From here.
Well, that file shows
It's
latitude
weird,
and longitude
like,
of this
how
place.
Japan's gone that way now.
Why don't you send your brother the coordinates and ask him to come help?
Thanks, I'll do that.
Hey, I was just kidding. There's no way he could get here, even if he is your brother.
Yes, he can, I'm sure of it.
No way. He won't come. You'll just end up disappointed if you rely on others. Believe me, I know.
I know. Well, bye.
What was that all about?
Anyway. I'm convinced that clipboard is there, looking like something you can read, just so you'll try and examine it and find the hidden drawer that you need to find for the one. I feel like playtesters probably missed it.
Please deposit any metallic items you have in the security box.
Didn't have a ratings board until 2002. Huh. I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't aware Sarah was only established in 2002. Overbearing seems right though. It sounds as bad, if not worse, as Australia. And it's particularly frustrating, like, especially in the Australian case, of like, they finally, like, for a long time, their highest rating was 15. So, anything that would be above 15 was refused classification and thus refused to be sold in Australia. And then eventually, after years of lobbying for it, they finally added an 18 rating. But they'll still put some stuff out. Like, there's still stuff that'll come out and not get a rating. It'll be refused rating because it's too much for an 18. But other countries will absolutely have it as an 18. Saints Row 4, I think, was one of the earliest examples I heard of that. Being refused classification after the 18 rating came out. That might have been for drugs. Why are you not dead? There's a fun story, though, involving the Australian Ratings Board and drugs. Oh, I am low on hand ammo. Fun story involving Australian Rating Board and drugs. Originally, Fallout 3 had morphine as an item you could use. The pain, like, to heal. Australia refused to classify it because of drug use. So Bethesda renamed morphine to Med-X everywhere. And that's why Fallout has Med-X. It's literally morphine, just under a different name. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Won't even give a game an 18 plus rating if it has 1 second of footage. That's interesting when I think of stuff like Criminal Girls, which came out in Japan, but was censored for its Western release. I kind of want to stream Criminal Girls, but I feel like the only reason I want to stream it is because I'm not allowed to stream it. You're not allowed to stream Criminal Girls on Twitch. Would have named the magic healing drug after the head of the Australian Ratings Board and submitted it at that point. Hey, how you doing, Magic? You get Magic a shout out, please? Magic's cool people. Oh, you bitch. Thanks, Teak. I don't like this knife bouncing off the wall shenanigans. Like it in Dark Souls, I don't like it here. I'm doing alright. I'm doing alright, Magic. Doesn't Criminal Girls have the sequences where you torture the girls? Or, like, punish them? Punish? I don't know, it's probably something to do with that. But, like, censors are weird when it comes to anything related with possible sex. Especially American censors. And the problem with a lot of the West in that regard is that a lot of this stuff has to go through America before it will go anywhere else. So often if America decides to censor something, the rest of the world will end up with a censored version. Way worse than Senran Kagura, and that's why Maki endorses it. I heard Senran Kagura is actually a pretty good series, though. Never played it.
Please deposit any metallic items you have in the security box.
Yeah, remember to pick up the fire extinguisher. This is a trick. By making sure the shutter is lowered when we do this, those zombies won't break through. Because otherwise we do this, we go through and the zombies break through. Really hope Code Veronica doesn't make a liar out of me right now.
In the security box.
But it is a treacherous game, it wouldn't surprise me. Missing the top portion of my window. What? What do you mean, Teak? Hardest on censoring sexual things and Peggy's the lightest. Yeah, Peggy, the European rating board. Top portion of my window? Is it? No, that's how the game looks for me, Teak. Uh-huh. What am I seeing? Top. Half the words are cut off. They're not, no. That looks fine to me. I can see all the words. Are you zoomed in on the stream, Teak? Because it looks fine. You were scrolled down in your tab. God damn it, Teak. Anyway. It's a good thing I remembered to get the padlock key, because I usually forget it. Now I can just completely skip this area. So yeah, it's a bunch of back and forth just to open this gate. And it's a problem that Code Veronica continues to have for a while. Have a lot of space. Yeah, various different censorships can be kind of interesting. I'd like an updated version of Twitch's banned games. I feel like the list I saw is years old at this point, and I don't know if they've ever updated it. I'd like an updated version, and preferably a version that explains why it's banned. I feel like that's the kind of thing a lot of these things miss. Like, you can ban something, and that's just gonna make people curious, and just gonna make people curious, and then those people will absolutely be more likely to look into something. And then your whole point, which was probably to keep people from looking into these things, has been lost. Whoever was doing the job that day fell. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, just give me like a decent, reasonable explanation for why anything's banned. I feel like you then solve half the problem of banning anything. You can't just say, oh, because it makes people uncomfortable. Like this whole thing in the US of like these book bannings that have been going on. It's like, oh yeah, why did they ban To Kill a Mockingbird? Because it makes people uncomfortable. It's like, cool, that's not a good enough explanation. Why is it making? Address that, deal with that. Otherwise, you're just going to make people curious. Yeah, there's been this whole thing in the US recently of books being banned. And it started with stuff like To Kill a Mockingbird, which was banned because it makes people uncomfortable. It used to be required reading in the US. In schools, and then they banned it because it made people uncomfortable. But as far as I'm aware, that's the point of the book. It's supposed to make you confront uncomfortable things. How long are we gonna go? We can do another half hour. I mean, Code Veronica is short. But, like, we just finished Survive. The stream isn't... means the stream hasn't been short, just Code Veronica's short. Often challenged, but rarely successfully banned. Yeah. But there's weird shit going on in the US with a lot of this stuff recently. Like this whole thing of schools in Texas requiring to have flags with "In God We Trust" written on them. Which I hope that falls apart pretty quickly. NCC 0394. It's weird that the first puzzle of such in this game requires you to memorize a 7-character password rather than just use the card. It's weird. Officially changed the motor back to E pluribus from them. Gonna play it cool and act like that was the intention the entire time, and not like, holy fucking shit, I can't believe that zombie didn't grab me. Less free than Japan. I would love to hear that said to any of these crazy names. Oh yeah, land of the free. My freedom. Like, no, you are one of the least free first world countries. Leftover remnants of Cold War propaganda, yeah. It is a fantastic way to get people to willingly give up their rights. But that's enough politics. And let's also not discuss the heavy incest tones, because we've done that so many goddamn times. I feel like any time Code Veronica comes up, the heavy incest undertones like one of the main things to talk about. It's like, let's not. I want to know who the voice actress for Alexa. It's like, the Steve voice actor's always like, although I feel like it's probably more a problem with direction than anything. Because, like, Claire, it's Alison Court returning to play Claire, and I feel like she gives overall a weaker performance than she did in RE2. So I feel like a big part of the problem with this is voice direction. And Alfred's just insane. But I think, like, the standout, actually genuinely quite good performance in this game is probably Alexia. It says when 2 pairs are complete, but that's just 1 pair. That's a pair of guns.
I found something, thanks to you. Looks cool, huh?
Oh, I need those. Give them to me.
You gotta be
It's
kidding.
interesting that that's the
I
thought
found it, and I'm
behind it.
keeping it.
Contrast the Ashfords and the Redfields.
Fine. Let's
When
make a
Claire and
deal.
Chris spend so much of the
I'll
game
trade you
apart.
for something fully automatic. See you around, Claire. Adios.
Hey, wait! Steve!
So you get the whole thing of Claire looking for Chris and then Chris looking for Claire. But, like, actual interaction between the two, you don't get a whole lot of. Although I suppose it is more than you get between Alfred and Alexia. There's a red herb there. I don't like the way Darkside Chronicles tries to retcon Alexia's feelings on Alfred as like a failure for not waking her up on time.
So you could lead your people to this base.
I have no idea what you're babbling about.
You don't fool me.
Like, I much prefer the implications of the original game.
Commander of this base.
Oh? You must be one of Umbrella's lower level officers if you're in command of a backwater base like this one.
How dare you! The Ashford family is among the world's first and finest. My grandfather is one of the original founders of Umbrella, Inc. Now tell me, why have you attacked this installation?
Attacked?
Shortly after you arrived, my base was attacked. You must have informed your people of its location.
I still don't follow you. I really don't know anything about that.
Unacceptable! How can you deny it? My base has been destroyed. And thanks to you, the experimental T-virus was released, creating countless zombies and monsters.
So,
Tell me,
we joke about Alfred's voice in a lot of ways,
who sent
but would you say it's bad voice acting?
Have it your way, then. You're just a rat in a cage anyway. I'll be sure to keep you entertained before I dispose of you.
Because there's no way a voice actor gets to do a laugh like that without being told to do that. It delivers the intended result, the belief that he is insane and possibly impotent. Just not interested? That's a interesting take on it, Marker. One thing I'm sorry, what? Made out of marble. One thing I'll definitely give Code Veronica credit for, something that, even at this point, no other Resident Evil has really managed to successfully do for me. It kept me interested in its plot pretty much always all the way to the end. In the plot. And like, very few other Resident Evil games can claim to even get halfway to that. Resident Evil 8 was closest, but RE8 falls apart the minute they bring Chris into it fully. And the retcon that it does to events in RE7, which I did not like. Put you there, and you here. But we should be fine for space though, because we're about to get the side pack. suppose the problem is like just how spoilery it is. Is there anybody in chat who hasn't beaten Resident Evil 8? Is if you haven't beaten Resident Evil 8, we won't talk about it, but if you have... oh yeah, Teak hasn't. Teak, did you watch all of the playthrough I did? You see multiple people play through the game. Right, who else do we have? I know Ghost has played it. I see Steve's lurking. Has Steve played it? I assume, because Bane's lurking, I assume Bane's played it at this point. For these survival horror games. The retcon that... Okay, this is going to be like big outright spoilers for Resident Evil 8. So if you haven't played it yet, I suggest you mute until I do like a double thumbs up, at which point we'll be clear from spoilers. So we're about to get into the spoilers, so this is your chance to mute. 3, 2, 1. Okay. The retcon that it says of like, yeah, no, Jack killed Ethan in RE7, and so the Ethan we've been playing as since that moment is unmolded. And like, I thought that was such a bullshit retcon. Liam, you already played it. I don't even need to be here for this. See, my thing with RE7 was like, yeah, Ethan's infected with the mold, same as everybody else. Because the way it works for everybody else feels like that. Like, everybody's infected. Jack's infected, Marguerite's infected, Lucas was infected, but he got it taken care of. And Ethan's infected, which is why he sees the hallucinations of Evelyn and shit. And him being able to heal is a direct result of being infected, the same way as everybody else. But for RE8 to just come out and say, no, Ethan died when Jack punched him in the face. Elton recorporealized near the end of RE7. No, it's cool, Clem. We're probably not going to be going for too much longer. Elton recorporealized? What? Talk about Jack? That damn crane game. Did he? Because I thought that was just him being pulled into Evelyn's goo and then dragged along. she's getting so battered. Great. The mold double? Was it ever established that the mold could replicate a person? Alright, here we go. No, Jack repairs himself, he doesn't replicate, you don't fight two Jacks. That's not what I ever really took from RE7. You guys, I mean, you guys are all agreeing on this, so the chances are that I'm wrong on this. Like, it's not an idea I ever got from RE7. Maybe I am wrong, though. What did I get? Biohazard card. Alright. Well, maybe you guys are right and RE8 isn't as dumb as it seems. Downstairs, that's where I saw those ups. I appreciate that, Zeke. Chris's characterization is awful. Everything to do with Chris in RE8 was awful. Close. I mean, I'm wanting to go through RE7 again at some point anyway. Partly to do it on stream. And partly for the, to test my theory now that I've got a PC and I have it on PC. Test my theory that it plays better with mouse and keyboard. So that'll be something worth keeping an eye out for.
I can't get the door open!
Yeah, I feel like it does, and I want to prove it for myself.
Biohazard contamination detected.
I need to go back and
Level
finish Kyoitoshi.
Emergency shutters will close. All personnel evacuate immediately.
That was close.
Must have- Alright. Yeah, I'll have to get around to doing RA7 at some point. Although, like, once I'm done with this 10 years of Resident Evil, it's going to be a while before I do more Resident Evil. Yeah, give me a printout. Charging son of a bitch. That was terrible. Isn't me streaming it for 10 years. If it was me streaming only Resident Evil for 10 years, it would have cost a lot more than 100,000. Actually, even anything I need in here right now? Mechanical's my father. You can call me Mecha. I feel like my camera's blurry. Locker room. Shit. This fucking knife bouncing off the wall of bullshit is ridiculous. Ugh. I will say though, one thing the Resident Evil series does do pretty well is mixing up some of these things. So within the space of like 2 weeks, this is my 5th Resident Evil game, and I'm not tired of the concept yet. Which I think is like a good sign for the games. Classic noise. There. G with tag. See, I'm not entirely certain that's true. Alright, thanks for joining us, Teak. Like I say, we're probably not going to be going for too much longer, so you won't miss a huge... you take care of yourself, and we'll catch you next time. I mean, there's absolutely the thing of... the formula was getting stale, but I don't think the issue is so much that people were getting tired of it. I think Capcom was like losing how to make a decent Resident Evil game, and Zero being the last of the classic style, I think like they really had no idea how to do any more with it. But shit, I should have used that key. Like, Capcom changed to the RE4 style, supposedly because they felt people weren't interested in the old style anymore, because remaking Zero didn't sell that well, and in the case of Zero it's like, yeah, because it's shit. But in the case of remakes, like, why didn't people buy it? It was really good, it reviewed well. That. Definitely need that. I think the issue, more than anything, is that they were exclusive to GameCube. Yeah, I want to keep... Put you away. Away. You away. Didn't have GameCube. Very antiquated. Compared to the fresh new Sat Home Fatal Frame series. I don't know. I mean, Remake mixes it up pretty well. And shows that the old formula still had life in it.
Are in a special playground I have prepared just
I think the problem is probably this game stretching the formula as far as it can go, and then Zero
and do not disappoint
clearly
me by
having no idea how to
dying
be a
too
good classic
soon.
Resident Evil.
I so want to enjoy this.
I think it might have been Like, can't speak for everybody, especially at the time, because fuck knows. But I think people were probably just getting less interested in the games because they were getting less good. It's like, you think of classic Resident Evil, like, think about it in a contemporary sense. Well, this also had the benefit of being on PS2. Plus, it came with a demo for Capcom's hot new IP, Devil May Cry. And the people who played Remake enjoyed it. I think, like I say, the issue might have been at least partly that Capcom was losing how to make a good one. You think of, like, we talk contemporary. No, we don't talk contemporary. Retroactively. Why am I running around with these separate when I just realised I can combine all of them? I've been using an inventory space for nothing. Fucking hate. Like, you think of the best Resident Evil games, Remake is always up there. Zero and Code Veronica often aren't. Bitch. Like, especially not Zero. I think word of mouth definitely helped Remake. It's worth remembering that when Remake came out on PS3, 360, PC as the HD remaster, it was the best-selling digital game ever the week it came out. Something along those lines. I mean, that doesn't sound entirely true because, like, you look at how many iterations RE4 went through, and the ones that we're aware of, Hookman and Fog versions, are clearly more horror-focused than action-focused.
Oh yeah, that felt good. Don't worry, Claire. Your knight in shining armor is here.
Go fight a cactus.
You wish. But thanks for the help.
See? This is why you need me.
Take your fingers
I got
off
your
the
back.
trigger, Steve.
Whatever. Here. Take these.
Machine guns? For me?
You know the deal. In exchange for your Lugers.
Okay, okay.
Lugers.
This thing is too cool.
And the first thing he does
Yes!
is
Now
try
this
to
is my
shoot
kind
them
of
at
weapon.
nothing.
All right. Huh? Hey, this thing's
Like, cool,
empty.
good work. It's not as though we're in a
You're cheating
situation
me.
where ammo could be very
Up there.
important.
Plenty of ammo. Just for you.
Steve
Way up
always
there?
suffers in my playthrough, Star.
Give me a boost and I'll get it for you.
All right, all right.
First iteration included melee combos.
Ow! My back!
Did it?
You're heavier than you look. Hurry up!
That's interesting. Like, if you got some more... No, this is OG. You can tell by Steve's hair. If you got some information on, like, early iterations of RE4, I'd be very interested in seeing that. This is Dreamcast, yes.
Now that your knight has made his appearance, he
There's the
can
VMU.
join you in your descent into death.
Death. God, the DiCaprio look.
Okay, let's do it! Wait
Isn't-
here, Claire.
It's also kind of a Leon look.
Time to test out
Like,
my
it's similar
new
to
toy.
the hairstyle Leon had in RE2. And, like, isn't the story that originally Steve was gonna be Leon? And Leon would die in this? X version cuts a few seconds of the FMV of Lexi transforming into the second form, since it showed Claire going in the lift. Yeah, because if you know where to look, new Steve Harry and Axel more like Leon. I think it looks more like Leon as Leon became in RE4 when he got the redesign. But Leon in RE2 still had like that center part with his hair down the sides. Hey, Clem. If you know where to look in Code Veronica X during the final cutscene, you can see it's a very sloppy edit of like Alexia, like Chris shoots the linear launcher, Alexia dies, and then Chris immediately starts running down the stairs. And if you've seen the original FMV, you can see where the cut is.
It was dirty work.
To have the Wesker bit, and then once that Wesker bit's done, it goes back into the original FMV.
See? You can depend on me.
And it is a fairly sloppy cut.
You see? This thing is a lot more reliable than any person.
You can rely on me, but these guns are more reliable than a person. What?
Steve, what were you doing here?
What were you doing here, Steve?
Who brought you here?
Why were
and
you
where's
here,
your
Steve?
family?
Steve,
Shut up!
what is going on?
I don't want to talk about
Steve.
Steve.
Never mind. Let's get going.
Yeah, Steve's writing's all over the place. Code Veronica X is an interesting consideration. I wonder, because like, there's not a whole lot of additional content to it. Wesker plays a more prominent role, but it really doesn't matter. I don't have the blue key card.
Claire, are you okay?
Steve, behind you!
Sony did have a policy of any re-release on PlayStation systems had to have a certain amount of new content. But I think that only applied to games that already existed on PlayStation platforms.
What's wrong, Steve? Shoot him!
Wait!
I say Sony, I mean Sony of America. Which is why the US didn't get the PSP versions of Breath of Fire 3 or Tales of Eternia, because they didn't have enough new content for Sony of America.
No!
Maybe that's part of the reason why Code Veronica has that weird little extra stuff.
Father!
But it's such a minuscule amount of new content. There's absolutely no way Steve doesn't shoot Claire so much there. Like, one-handing 2 machine pistols
Steve.
at full auto. A trained professional wouldn't do that. Because a trained professional would know, like, you're not going to be able to control it.
Father. Father. Father.
Father, the sleeper has awakened.
Dad used to work for Umbrella. Tried to steal information. Intending to sell
The
it
emotional
off to
weren't so
Kid.
goofy. Yeah.
He was caught. Mom was killed. And we were sent here.
Oh, Steve.
Can't type on your phone.
He was a
I mean, to be
forge for
fair,
Sophie's
Ghost, you
rebels.
usually don't type very well on your computer either.
So
Oh, shit, son. I don't mean that. You're a valued member of the community.
It's okay now. Just rest.
So, we can go to the mansion now, but I don't think it's worth it yet. I think there's an item we want to get before we do. God, I can't tell where it is. Where's this lead? Oh, that's the door out. I'm thinking like this is some... Wait a minute, what the fuck am I doing? Oh, I do want this door. This is a good door. Best games, most toxic audiences. I don't know. I feel like the audiences might be more toxic now. But absolutely, 5th and 6th generation is peak gaming for me. Especially 6th. Like, they'd gotten the hang of 3D. Games didn't cost as much as they do now. Didn't cost as much to develop as they do now, so they could be weirder and more interesting with them. It was the time before patches and stuff. Patches and DLC, so a game had to launch in a complete state. The fact that day one patches became an accepted thing is a mistake. Go back down at the bottom, there's stuff down there that I couldn't get. Do they? That's not the impression I ever got. My thinking is stuff like, oh yeah, no, if you want to do anything that isn't just the norm, then you're being woke and political. Can't have that. People are more... It feels like people are more entitled than ever. Secured with a simple lock. Get these. That's right, the custom handgun parts for Claire are underneath the morgue. I remember. Next to the morgue, next to the morgue. A launcher is right around here and I can't get it. I mean, you could be right, Marky, it might be better now, but it still should be much better than it is. gaming as a culture should be better than it is. You can get off Bubsy 3D, man. I got people to stop requesting Bubsy 3D, so that was good. How did I get people to stop wanting me to play Bubsy 3D? I played Bubsy 3D for 20 minutes. All developers to a lower standard. I mean, you're not wrong. I do remember hearing stuff like people saying that IP should be taken away from companies to let somebody else do better with them. And now it feels like the only company that's ever really said about is Konami, largely because they have great IPs that they're just not doing anything with. The lower standard, though, is interesting. The thing with that as well, though, is like I can't say for certain that you're wrong, because I feel like you are right. Bastard. In that regard, though, I wonder if that has anything to do with lowered standards because of continued disappointment. Like, people complain less about Final Fantasy now because Final Fantasy standards are so low. Like, regardless of whether or not you like a lot of what Final Fantasy has done in the last 10 years or so, a lot of it was divisive. Final Fantasy 12 was divisive, 13 was more so, and has a lot of problems. 15 was an unfinished game. 14 launched, its 1.0 state was really bad. No, it's consideration worth considering. Yeah, I said that. What are you gonna do about it? You bring up interesting points though, Marky. Good discussion points. I wanted the storage key, then. An elitist mindset. absolutely did exist and still does. But in that regard, I can definitely agree. It's less prevalent than it used to be. Fuck off. Influx of casuals as a result of the DS and especially the Wii. Although isn't it generally regarded that Nintendo wasn't able to hold on to them? Like in general, a lot of the casual players moved towards mobile gaming. I don't know, that's neither here nor there. And grenade launcher, yeah. I've done well for myself to get it this early. Where does this lead? Oh, jeez. Not my head. Stop it. Where am I? Isn't this a Chris thing? Let's see. We're definitely at the point where I need to call it. That's an interesting consideration. My thought would have been stuff like Minecraft would have evolved eventually anyway, and that the Wii wasn't entirely responsible for that. Because I always based the success of Minecraft on stuff like Lego. Like anybody who had Lego as a kid loved building that kind of thing, and Minecraft was kind of the ultimate culmination of that ideal. I feel like I'm not discussing this very well right now. I feel like my just isn't all there. I apologise for that, because it's... feels like a discussion that deserves to be properly discussed. But I'm just not there right now. I need to call it, but I want to call it in a place where I can remember where I'm going. The age of the YouTube Let's Play has definitely changed a lot of things. Video game history is an area of particular interest for me. It's astounding to consider that the industry itself as a whole is maybe 50 years old, but there is so much there already. The rise of YouTube popularity, though, has been absolutely fascinating for games. Like, you think of the things that blew up, like YouTube and, in the same breath, Twitch. Like, the things that have blown up spectacularly in popularity because people have seen them on YouTube or Twitch. Stuff like Among Us. Like, Among Us was out for years. It was out for like 2 years, and then it blew up on Twitch. And now, regardless of whether or not you think people are still playing Among Us, certainly not as prevalent, like, certainly not as extensively as they used to. It's certainly not as widespread and pervasive. It's not as everywhere as it used to be. But, like, Among Us is part of the culture now. It's an absolutely fascinating consideration that such a thing happened. I go up to the mansion now. What am I going to the mansion for? I don't know. But it's worth calling it here. It's high. Probably cumulative. One was the best games of all time. Yeah, the dissonance that occurs in such a situation. The interesting thing I've heard with Silent Hill 2 is that Japanese players in particular despised it because it wasn't a sequel. Which is why Silent Hill 3 is a sequel to Silent Hill 1. Which I then extend to the idea of, like, the rest of the series. Of Silent Hill 4 being so different. I mean, I know it's originally not intended to be a Silent Hill game, but the point of that still stands, wanting to do something different. Shit. But, then once it started becoming once the series was being developed by Western studios, Silent Hill 2 is the most loved game in the West, and every one of the games developed by a Western studio is trying in some way to recreate Silent Hill 2. Origins is probably the loosest of that. Its Silent Hill 2-esque twist is the lightest. But Origins, Homecoming, and Downpour are very much trying to be Silent Hill 2 again, with a similar twist of you don't know what you've done, but you've absolutely done something horrible. Well, it does become an interesting case when you compare it to cinema as well. How many movies came out and were unloved or hated in their original time? And like one of the best examples is Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane didn't do well when it came out, and nowadays it's considered possibly the greatest movie of all time. It's often up there. It's fair enough, maybe it is a Japanese thing. That said, I mean, my tastes are probably weird anyway because they're just a mishmash of different cultures. Because I'm overexposed to so much. There's so many different ideas and shit. But I like both ideas. I like Silent Hill 2 in the idea of Silent Hill being an anthology series about the town. I like Silent Hill 3 continuing the original story and doing something interesting with it. Although I think Silent Hill 1 did work. It was definitely in need of a sequel. The ending leaves too much open. Silent Hill 3 I think ties it up. And after that we could have done anything with the series or just left the series. Silent Hill 4 doing something completely different again I think absolutely works. And the problem with the later games is they come back to try to do Silent Hill 2. Again. Yeah, various other things. The Thing. You can't see the print poster I've got on my wall, but The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, one of my favourite horror movies, was not well received when it came out. It was seen as like a shallow gore fest that was sickening. Like, nowadays it's considered one of the peaks of the genre. I love it for the paranoia. Practical effects are amazing. The Silent Hill 4 connecting to 2 is such a weird idea. It's like, hey, there's a couple of writings you see about a murderer, and then Silent Hill 4 is entirely about that. There's a weird point to expand upon, but having a basis to jump from, like, oh, I've seen this in a previous game, it's a small piece, and then jumping from that into the full game. Yeah, the connection there is definitely a good one. And it ties into what you said with Sugimura when he was brought in for RE2 scenario after RE 1.5 was just a mess. Connecting the game with Claire to the first game, it doesn't have to be the same thing again, but having it visibly exist in the same world is important. The connection between Claire and Chris as the connecting point, and it doesn't have to be a huge connecting point, just a connecting point. Because such a thing establishes a world. Maybe it's part of the reason why I've got no interest in actually going through Resident Evil 1.5 in any iteration. I don't know. But that is going to be it for today. I want to thank everyone for joining the stream. I was really appreciate the support. Big special thank you to everybody in chat. Chat is always the best part of the stream. We had a pretty busy chat today, thanks in part to Klim's raid, so very much thank you for that, Klim. And everybody in chat, Teak, Klim, Rebel, Ada, Flame, Cat, Ghost, Star, Magic, that's everybody except I think that's everybody except Marky, who I want to give a particular special thank you too for the interesting discussions. Like, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Marky, thank you so much for the discussions. Whether I agree or disagree with any of them, the discussions are a very fun part of streaming. And I love to hear everybody's opinions and such, and if you have experience to back your opinions up with, always a plus, and you do. So very much appreciated. We'll be back either tomorrow or Monday. No, we are back tomorrow. Back tomorrow with Clem. Clem's going to be joining me as we begin. I thought it was Sunday. We're back tomorrow with Clem, who will be joining me as we play Final Fantasy VI. Clem does not like Final Fantasy VI. I think it's a really strong game. Do I think it's the best in the series? I don't know, it's a difficult qualifier, and if you've been following the stream for a while, you know I have difficulty choosing favourites of anything. But I think 6 is a very strong entry. So Clem and I are going to be discussing the game as we play through it. The positives and negatives, I'm going to probably sway him with some things. He's probably going to make some really good points about why he doesn't like a lot of things that he doesn't like. So look forward to that. It's going to be a mature, critical discussion on Final Fantasy VI and the positives and the negatives. So I hope everybody looks forward to that. Should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Been looking forward to it for a while. The history of Resident Evil will continue probably on Tuesday. I'll probably take Monday off. Try and catch up on some sleep tonight, and then take Monday off to get some more sleep. I have a week off coming up. I am going to be off from Thursday until the Wednesday after, so we should be able to get some good streaming done. Look forward to that. And there's a possibility I'll be appearing on Teak stream. We might be doing some more co-op, so that should be fun. It's not set in stone, but it's a possibility. Look forward to the possibility of that. And if not, check Teak out anyway. He's a cool streamer. FF7 is a fantastic game, and I'm gearing up to play through it again with some mods now that I have it on PC. So that's something I look forward to in the future, Magic. Is I am very much a big FF7 fan. It was my first RPG. If anybody hasn't and they want to, check out the Discord, where I'm trying to be more active on it again. I kind of just let things slip for a while, both in the Discord and in the stream due to depression. But I am trying to be better about that and move out of my depression. And we'll see how that goes. But if anybody wants to join the Discord, you're more than welcome to if you're not already there. And we're always down to talk, throw memes, do shit posts. It's a good place to hang with good, like-minded people. Let's get some shout-outs for cool people in the chat. We have my good buddy mecha-chrono, who is doing all sorts of cool shit. Currently playing through Grand Theft Auto 5. Often plays co-op stuff with his brother, and they are very into challenge runs where they'll do really crazy challenges just for the sake of it. For example, their challenge run of Resident Evil 6 on its hardest difficulty, No Hope, with only handguns, which they completed and was absolutely insane. So definitely check out mecha-chrono, he's a super cool dude. We of course have our buddy Clem Hazard, in case anybody hasn't already checked him out. Clem is a super cool dude. Streams Saturdays, will be joining me tomorrow for the Final Fantasy VI discussion. Plays all sorts, not just what I tell him to. Definitely check out Clem. There is the good friend of the stream, Teak the Gamer, who is super cool. He's playing through various things at the minute. He's doing Dragon Quest VII on Tuesdays as part of his turn-based Tuesdays. He's doing Star Wars The Old Republic on Thursdays. He is playing through the entire Metroid series on Fridays. So definitely check him out. He's a super cool dude. Ain't no problem, Magic. You're a cool dude. I like supporting you. Who else do we have? We have our good friend Ghost Airy, who hasn't been streaming for a while but is looking to get back into it. So when they do, definitely pop in and show some support. Ghost Airy is very fun, great community. It was the first community I joined on Twitch. It's where I met Clem, it's where I met Star, and essentially the gateway to me meeting basically every one of you guys except Teak and Magic. Teak and Magic I found separately. But yeah, check out Ghost Airy, super cool. Who else? Rebel was in fact, Ada Wait. Check out Ada Wait. Ada is a prime Resident Evil streamer. Very good at what he does. Really good at the Resident Evils. If you want to see somebody play Survivor too much, Ada Wait is absolutely the person to check out. He was absolutely bragging about his skills in Survivor earlier, but though that brag is very much deserved, he's played a lot of it and is very good at it. So check him out. He's currently working on doing a no damage run of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis while taking out Nemesis every time. So definitely check that out. There is of course our buddy Rebel, who is also a cool streamer who primarily streams Monster Hunter World at the minute. And he's often playing with his viewers, so if you're into that and you are into playing with the streamers and Monster Hunter World, definitely check him out. He promises he'll return to Resident Evil content at some point, but who knows when that will be. In the meantime, just support him however you can, because he's a cool dude. And with that, let me check who is online. Pat is online playing Yakuza Kiwami, and Mir is online playing Soul Hackers 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shout out Mir, because Mir is a very cool friend. Good friend of the stream. Currently playing Soul Hackers 2. We're not going to raid him because Soul Hackers 2 is a very recent game and they're a decent way into it. So there's prime potential for spoilers, but if you're interested in checking them out, definitely do so. Very cool person. And I think what we'll do is raid friend of the stream, Foxhound Cat. I've been asked invalid username. Then why did you give me the option? Cat is, of course, super cool legendary streamer who is currently playing through Yakuza Kiwami. Absolutely worth a follow. Definitely check him out. We're gonna go and raid her. She's great. Definitely check it out and find out what she's about. And tell her she's legendary. In fact, here is the raid message. So if you guys want to jump into the raid with me and spam that in cash chat, it'd be very much appreciated. But in the meantime, I want to thank everybody for watching. I'm pretty sure I did forget to mention some people who were in the chat, but you were very much appreciated. I do apologise for forgetting to mention you, but absolutely appreciated. Thank you so much for joining me for the stream. Chat is the best part. Back tomorrow with the FF6 discussion with Clem. But in the meantime, thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day, and take care. Catch you next time, guys. Bye.
I wanna take